So I have a question. How often do you trade in your car? Maybe every 5 years, maybe every 10 years.
Well, one family in Morrison has a different approach. The car they bought back in 1926 is still in the family, still purring through the streets of Colorado. Here's Denver 7's David Clue.
I'll never forget one of the best pieces of financial advice my father ever gave me. Keep that old car for one more year. I'm not sure if the Sims family ever heard that advice, but they've been following it for nearly a century with the same car. This 1926 Flint Touring Model E55 is rolling through a fifth generation of Sims.
My grandfather, Albert C. Sims, bought it new from a Flint dealer down on 12th and Broadway.
That's Albert's grandson, Frank. He turned 90 this year, and that's Frank standing on the running board of his grandfather's brand new Flint when he was just 2 years old.
And a lot has happened in those 93 years. Congress had just approved the funding to build I-70 through Denver. The closest thing we had to I-25 was right here on Broadway. Also right here, this U.S. Bank building is where the Flint showroom used to sit. It's where the Sims bought their touring sedan, and it was pricey, about $1,100, double the price of the average family car at that time. But what a journey that Flint and Denver have taken since.
Frank's grandfather had just inked a deal to begin delivering the mail between Morrison and Evergreen and needed a big set of wheels to do the job.
He'd pick up the mail sacks in the morning at Union Station, take them up to the two post offices in the afternoon. He'd pick up the mail sacks to the post office and take them back down to Union Station.
After a few years, Albert opted for a newer car. Frank's father didn't want the old Flint, so it was used as a taxi to and from the local stables and a way to get the kids to classes at Golden High School. Years later, the car found its way to Flagstaff, Arizona, where Frank's uncle took a can of paint to it, turning it into a rolling billboard for his drugstore. By 1960, the old workhorse was back in Morrison, back behind a garage where a dozen harsh winters turned it into nothing more than rotten wood and rusted metal.
It was buried in trash in the garage, and it took me quite a while to uncover it to get it out. And I decided to restore it.
The year is 1975, and that decision to restore a 50-year-old car became Frank's passion project. For 6 long years, Frank scraped up whatever money he could for that on-again, off-again effort.
If you didn't have a part, you couldn't find it. You used to have to have it made.
What was your role in the restoration?
Usually the scraping and sanding and doing the hard menial jobs.
By 1981, Denver's 16th Street Mall was preparing to roll out the red carpet, and Frank Sims was rolling through town in his grandfather's 1926 Flint. Restored with such accuracy and precision, it collected dozens of top awards at car shows from Michigan to New Mexico. It's still a regular, in fact, at the Golden Car Show every summer.
Well, you get to meet people and talk to them, find out about them, and explain about your car. People wave and honk. It's a conversation piece.
That it is, and Frank has had plenty of offers for the old Flint, some as high as $50,000.
Well, at my age, money isn't everything.
But family is.
How long do you want this car to stay in the family?
Well, as long as it can. Like it goes to my son. And he can pass it on maybe to his son or so on.
The Sims Flint has seen more than most of us when it comes to the evolution of Denver, and for the last 90 years, Frank has witnessed much of it from the front seat of a classic.
But I don't get around much anymore. The body's wearing out.
Interesting words from a guy who made sure this body remained a sparkling piece of Denver history for the rest of us to enjoy. I'm David Clue, Denver 7.